Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, EM broke my $55,000 wheelchair. Entitled Parent tells me, a teacher, some things. Got shouted at in supermarket by Entitled Dad. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. EM broke my $55,000 wheelchair. Dear Entitled Mother, thank you so very much for your complete and utter lack of patience when getting on the bus, which resulted in breaking part of my $55,000 wheelchair and me needing to call the police for help. So I was on the bus tonight heading to a workshop that I was fairly excited for. Things were great until slightly before my stop when two adults got on, one with a toddler and the other wheeling a stroller. It is strict corporate policy that all strollers must be folded before being brought onto the bus, but not enough drivers actually enforce it, and this was one of those monster Cadillac strollers to boot. EM brought her unfolded stroller on the bus and, seeing the front entirely occupied by disabled people, including myself, decided to push past toward the back. Only, her behemoth of a stroller wouldn't fit in the space available, and she started ramming it along my wheelchair to plow it through. Me, hey! Watch it! EM keeps trying to squeeze through. Me, careful! I can feel you tugging at stuff. EM doesn't stop. Finally, she managed to push through and moved back. I fumed for the next few blocks, pushed the button for my stop, turned on my wheelchair, and got a left brake disconnected error. I tried again. Repeated errors. The next several minutes were spent with the bus pulled over, passengers getting mad at me for causing a delay, while I panicked trying to figure out how to get off the bus. Finally, a guy flipped my electric/freewheel release switch on and off several times, and that managed to convince my chair to work for me to get off my bus and get about 15 feet away before my chair suddenly turned itself off. I turned it back on. It started throwing up a charger inhibit error, which basically is the error you get when you try to start moving when you're still plugged into the wall outlet. The next hour was a progression of events that saw me sitting on the ground with the back of my chair opened up as I went through everything trying to figure out what was going on. I even called the police because I wasn't sure how I'd be able to get home. My wheelchair repair company doesn't have after-hours service. In the end, I discovered that two different things had gotten disconnected, and when I fixed them, my chair started up just fine. The lovely officer helped me get the cover back on my chair and, more importantly, helped me get safely back into my chair. I said F***ck it, skipped the workshop, went home, showered the icky sidewalk off of me, and had a couple of beers. None of this would have happened if that entitled mother had just taken 1 second to fold her stroller up. Or, I dunno, stopped when I repeatedly asked her to. But no, she was far too important to do such basic shit like that. And yes, my wheelchair is actually $55,000. I know that sounds like a lot, but given that according to order form I just looked at, the joystick cover alone is $85, it doesn't surprise me at all. It has 3 different tilt/adjustment settings that drives the cost up enormously. I love shouting at people who drive too close to me that my wheelchair costs more than their car. Your chair costs more than a Tesla. Yes, unfortunately, disability is big business. My friend is an ambulatory wheelchair user. She uses crutches sometimes to walk very short distances and to stand, and there is so much stuff available that would make so many things in her life easier or just possible, but it's all super expensive, and because we're poor, there's not much we can do. She can't even afford clips to attach the crutches to the wheelchair, let alone a battery pack for the chair that would mean I don't have to push her everywhere. I'm so sorry, that turned into a rant. It's maddening to see her living a fraction of the life she could have because of money. Wow, I didn't know people could be so stupid and impatient. Did you get the police do any investigation to find the EM? Plus, why was everyone not stopping the EM? It honestly hurt me to know some people care for themselves. Take this story to the transit authority and give them hell. I totally understand not enforcing the fold-up rule if the disabled spots are unoccupied and it's otherwise not causing an issue, but if they're occupied or someone disabled comes on, you gotta fold it up, period, and the driver should have been attentive enough to see this happen and step in. Entitled parent tells me, a teacher, some things. I'm a music/band teacher. A secretary calls a parent to ask for a payment for their lunch account. The parent starts yelling at the secretary about me. Parent was mad I wrote a disciplinary referral for their child and took away a day of recess. Administration has me call parent. During the phone call, I was told that I am a waste of a human being. Told that hat I teach is useless and meaningless. Told my paycheck is a waste of taxpayer money. Since they pay taxes, they are therefore my boss, and I have to answer to them. That I, or any other adult in the school, cannot make her child do anything he doesn't want to do. Punish her child/take away recess. When I asked the parent to please stop swearing at me, I stopped counting after the 7th, she replied, anything for you, the master of the universe, to make you feel better about yourself. All because I took away a day of recess for being defiant and disrespectful. Fun times. I'd have waited for them to finish, then said, in my most monotone voice, we're sorry, but the recipient of this voicemail has blocked this number. To talk to tech support, please press 1 foot, and then put the phone up to my computer playing Despacito for an hour. Despacito with a little bit of timbre remixed in every 5 or so minutes. The Pitbull versus only. The second they started cursing, you should have said in a very low voice, when we can discuss this as if you are an adult, then I will talk to you, until then, bye, and hang up. Or even better, I can tell where your kids gets his bad attitude and rotten disposition. Then hang up. Yeah. Best would have been the second option, be like, oh. Now it all makes sense. So this is where kid gets his attitude from. I wonder why the kid has an attitude. Got shouted at in supermarket by entitled dad. Hi all, I suffer from anxiety due to a health condition, but for the most part one handle things with medication and keeping my life as drama-free as possible. I do however find it hard to handle loud noise and various other overstimulation. Yesterday I was in the supermarket pushing my trolley along picking up groceries when a work colleague approached me and we started chatting. We moved over to the corner to avoid inconvenience to other shoppers while we chatted. Suddenly a little girl about maybe 3 or 4 runs into my legs and I say oops. And I look up for her parents. I note a young couple who look tired but unconcerned and neither seems bothered that their child just ran into a stranger. So myself and the work colleague begin moving and shopping while still talking to each other when suddenly the child begins screaming so loudly it hurt my ears. After a minute or so the 2 parents pass by next to me and in my periphery I see the child has been put in the baby seat of the trolley, hence her tantrum. Her screaming is so loud, I really can't explain the volume that came out of that small girl. She let out a primal scream as she was wheeled by and I winced and backed away to distance myself from the sound when suddenly a gruff voice shouts at me, she's just a baby. That's what babies do. I looked at him, then my colleague and I looked at each other and we both said sorry? To which he said you. Meaning me. I saw you pulling faces at my daughter. I explained that I wasn't pulling faces at his daughter, a bit more of him shouting at me and me defending myself when I said look it's my face, I can do what I want with my own face. Anyway, I was really shaken up but finished my shop and said goodbye to my work colleague. As I'm packing up my groceries, the work colleague turns up with a staff member and starts complaining about the interaction. I was mortified as I just wanted to get to my car and leave. I told them I'm okay, don't wish to escalate things and just want to leave. Then the colleague who seems really upset by the interaction insisted on speaking with the manager. I wasn't sure what to do but could feel my anxiety beginning to spiral, so I left and got in my car. I had to do more chores but just wanted to go home to my dogs. It made me feel upset all day. Seems some parents want to police people's facial expressions when their kid is having a full-on tantrum now. Don't let it bother you, some people look for reasons to fight. Unfortunately, society has deemed children a nuisance, so as parents are aware of that but know we can't control our children's emotions or actions, but are also not wanting negativity directed at our children. Honestly, he should have been focused on his child and not everyone else. I'd take grace that his child's screeches could have been giving him anxiety/paranoid as it's out of his control. Saw you wince and made it personal. I'm a mom, but screeching kids hurt my ears and cause my anxiety to go up as well. It's hard to battle that when it's your own, but I would have reacted the same as you with a stranger's child. I've plugged my ear before at my own kid's fits. Don't take it to heart, just give yourself dog cuddles and breathe. I once saw a kid, probably around 6 years old, running wildly through the aisles with arms flailing all about. He hit me as he ran past. Well, it hurt and an expletive came out as I was rubbing my arm where he hit me. Just to be clear, I wasn't cursing the kid out. He didn't even slow down and was already in another aisle. It was just a shit that hurt. His mom was all bent out of shape that I cursed in front of her kid. I doubt he even heard me. She didn't care at all that he was acting like an animal or that he hit me. My mom would have killed me if I behaved that way. There were 2 kids running around the grocery store and one of them tripped and slammed into my cart. I said, "Wow, that was stupid." The mom looked apoplectic but said nothing. I really wanted her to. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.